is usually very good at that, but they're the odd time that the odd time. Where we just bang our head against a rate set and go, why?
Hey, I've got a few questions here. Do you believe in aliens? Why is the grass green? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck a woodchuck? What are your plans for tonight? Do you like hot sauce?
I know, I'm like...
Why does these guys fuck out on the fish?
Can I get a hug?
You need one, man. You really do. What was the first question?
How much
wood? Only when I got with hot sauce.
The answer to that is yes.
Yeah.
You talk about panel of actors, the only question they actually heard was the one about food. Oh, aliens!
Illegal aliens. I see them coming over the border all the time.
Question there?
Yeah, I've seen in earlier, like second series and third series episodes, yet several where you introduced your character's sister, who was your real life sister. How was that to do? Because I found it personally quite interesting and entertaining to watch those episodes. For instance, where we find out Rodney's real first name is actually Meredith. The other bit where we get to see Rodney, we get a contrast where they're both geniuses, but where you've got Rodney, who's got this colossal Mount Everest-sized ego. He's got this really smug and he lets everybody know he's smarter than they are. And on the other hand, you've got this person who's like a really nice person, who's a team player and so on. And the other thing would have been interesting if you had the two characters more often on the show, because it would have been fun to see where if you'd seen the other say, hey, no, I want to work with Rodney's sister, she's so much nicer.
I just want to say something.
Yes!
You guys have been here since like about 1860. You've had a lot of time to come up with a better accent than that. Okay, I'm just saying. I just want to say something.
So I think you like the genie thing? Yeah. It was the best, I think the way to sum that up was Martin Wood came up to us after the first day of shooting. Kate being my real sister as well as playing McKay's sister. And he said, look guys, just don't forget you guys are related. Remember this, you guys are supposed to be, you're related, you're brother and sister, you should be, you love each other. So basically spent the entire time going, yeah, remember, you're my sister. Because the problem was that we don't get along at all. Like, we are so hideously horrible to each other all the time that he was worried that was... In real life, yeah. So in the show, he was like, there's no warmth between each other. I was like, yeah, and there ain't going to be any. So basically, every scene that we had, there was a scene where he had to sort of say, I love you and I love you. We were both just like, well, there.
What about the episode where you had to call Rodney from the parallel?
They took the mic from you, man.
So what I was thinking, what about...
No, it was a good thing.
Have you seen Red Dwarf? That character Rimmer, and then he's got this...
I never got into Red Dwarf.
He's got this cool alter ego Ace Rimmer, and when I was watching that episode of Stargate Atlantis, I couldn't help but see the comparison where Rimmer's like the guy's a bit of a wanker, yet this alternate version of him is this really cool guy, and you've got the alternate Rodney, he's like this cool guy who everybody seems to like.
Oh my god. I think we did rip off Red Dwarf on that one.
Okay, I feel the need to apologise both for our accent and because of retarded questions you asked. Okay, so my
did you want to address the accent?
Apology accepted.
My question then is...
This has got to be good now. You have an entire country against you now.
Okay, especially I guess for those of you with young families, I mean you've got your baby and you mentioned yours as well, and Joe Flanagan's got 3 kids and Rachel just had her baby. Is it really tough to be, stuck? I mean, are they up there in Canada with you? Are you miles away? Do you have the little kids for little, game parties on the set? I mean, what's it like being so far away when you work?
I think Kevin's trying to tell us something.
David, I have a question for you.
Obama. It's a very family-oriented, set really. I mean, there's dogs running all over the place, there's kids running all over the place. True. Chris Judge. So there was always a kid on set at some point, really, wasn't there? I mean, Sebastian loved the Wraith set. Something about the lights, so we left him.
That's for that snack.
I know too that on SG1, things. It's an interesting question because things did actually the sort of not the movie, but something changed on the set when Michael Greenberg had a child and RDA had a child. It was like suddenly it was like, oh right, we kind of get it. And suddenly there was more sort of consideration.
They were jerks before that.
Not jerks. No, I wouldn't say jerks, but more in the sense of really, if you haven't had a kid, if you don't have a kid, the only way you can understand about having a kid is by having a kid. It's not anything that you can explain to somebody. And there were
That's
other.
what Jane keeps telling me.
Yeah. And so there were lots of actors with children, and Amanda had a baby. Suddenly it was like, as soon as that happened, it was like, boom! It's like Kid Central. And everything was about family. Richard was flying home to LA to be with his daughter, so he was like working 4 days a week, and then he was gone. And so things like that actually, having children did affect the mood of the set. It's true.
I got grumpier.
How is that possible?
I know.
Did anyone notice?
She said, "Did anyone notice?"
I got a question.
My question's for Andy, it's not just Stargate.
What?
You were in Auckland Supernatural season 2. You just got them?
Sorry, apparently.
Well, they were going to dance first for a while.
You have a.
On your left.
Wait, you're literally. Is anybody else here? Yeah. Me too, Jesus.
Are they telling us to leave?
Lord. Okay, I don't know. I'm sorry, sweetheart. What were you saying?
I was asking, you were on a season of Supernatural, season 2.
Yeah.
I thought that was not just your character, was absolutely terrifying.
I know, right? They're like, yeah, you have an audition for a police officer. So I walk in, freeze. They're like, you know what we're going to do? We want you to come in and kill everybody. Okay. I actually got to play a dead nurse that comes back and kills everybody. And it was pretty fun. I've actually worked with Jensen before in another movie that he did called Devour. And so I met him on set the second time, and he's like, what's with you killing me all the time? Every show that I work with him, I always end up trying to kill him. And he's hot, so it's a good trade-off, I like it. It was amazing. And we actually got to, we were shooting in this old, it used to be like a psych hospital outside of town, and anyway, we were shooting out there, and it's really eerie, it's really, really scary, and the bathroom was like on the 3rd floor, and I'm dressed like a dead, like a dead person. I look like a ghoul, and they're like, oh, the bathroom's on the 3rd floor, and I'm like, I gotta go by myself. Yeah. So I remember I was like creeping up the stairs and thinking in my head, don't run into me, don't run into me, don't run into me. And then I thought to myself, if I did run into a spook, who would be more scared? They look the same. So anyway, it was pretty cool. It was a pretty neat experience.
Do you believe in aliens?
Well, I'm looking at you.